Hey there, YouTube. My name's Sky, and welcome back to my channel. With the release of my previous video, I'd had a bunch of questions about the specific film that I've been using, the Agfa Aviphot Pan 200. Forgot how heavy that was. There was a number of questions that was asked in my comments, and then I got DM'd on Instagram about it. But specifically, some of the questions I had that was asked of me seemed like some stuff that would be easy to find on Google, but I found that it really wasn't. So I thought I'd go over it a little bit in this video. One of the big differences between this film and a lot of other films is that this film uses a clear base. So this film has a clear polyester base, and stuff like FP4 has kind of a bluish magenta tinge to it. These are just some tests that I was messing around with the camera and finding out some light leaks. But you can see the Ilford FP4 has a bit of a magenta tint to it, whereas this stuff has a clear base to it. So I don't know if that's beneficial or could be a problem. I noticed that when I this was done in Pyrocat when I finally figured out how to use it thanks to a commenter in the last video. But Pyrocat leaves less of a base fog than when I was using D76. D76, you can see it has a far deeper color all the way through, that there's less of a gradient there. It just looks like the whole film is fogged, but I actually lose some of that fog when I use the Pyrocat, which is nice. This is what I like to use the most. I have quite a lot of it available. So talking about developers, D76 is 15 minutes of a 1:1 at 20C with I use Ilford agitation. Pyrocat is a 1+1 +50 for 10 minutes. Again, Ilford agitation. And then somebody also talked about Rodinal. Now, I have no experience with Rodinal. I do not have it yet. I have some on order. Rodinal, I was seeing in the comments a 1+25 for 8 minutes, but the ISO rating is at 200 and not 100, which is what I had been previously rating this for, as an ISO 100 or an ISO 80. That seems to be pretty good. And then when I use the infrared side of this film, because it is sensitive to infrared, I was using it at ISO 2 to ISO 6. It just depends on how much greenery, how much foliage is in there. Because if you go too far to F2, when there's not a lot of foliage, it becomes really bright in the image. It saturates, not really saturates, it almost turns the film black, which makes it a bit of an issue, because when you go to invert this, you'll see how bright this is in some of my images. It loses detail. So, cutting the film down. In the darkroom, if you're going to be cutting it down into sheets, I use glass. It's cheap. It's readily available. It's a good template. I haven't really had very many issues with this, but you can lay this down and cut it. If you don't have access to a rototrim, or if you don't have access to like a guillotine cutter, those are some possible alternatives. Use it for both my roll film and sheet film. This is the sheet I was using for making my Kodak 101 sized rolls, though I do believe I'm making it quite a bit shorter than it's supposed to. It looks like the original stock was long enough to do 6 shots per roll, and I'm only getting 4 with this. This is a sheet of glass that's 40 inches by 3.5. As far as what I've been using to cut it down with the glass, it's just been a razor, just a pocket razor. Seems to work fine. Clean off the packing oil all razors come with, or you can use an X-Acto knife. You're just gonna trace it out, use that as a template. Lights, if you're going to be using night vision goggles, it's been brought to my attention that some infrared sources will fog this even if they're rated for 900 nanometers. This is a macro light that I converted to infrared for some infrared photography I was messing with in like a macro sense. This is 900 nanometer emitters that I swapped out with the original white LEDs. This is too powerful for my infrared film. This is supposed to have, I do not know how to confirm it, a 900 nanometer set of LEDs or emitters on this side, and a 850, I believe, or 700 on this side. I only work on this side, and this is not fogging my film, but yet it's supposed to have the same wavelength as this. Just wanted to jump in here and show you the difference between the DIY infrared light that I made versus the night vision goggles. They both will show up on the camera, but the one on the left has far more, and it is more intense than the night vision goggles 5 emitters. So kind of a reference. It's been brought to my attention that it could be a power level deal. This might be just more intense, or these are a more narrow band LED emitter than these are. These might be more, just they barely put any effort into trying to control it or something, and the manufacturing, and just say, yeah, it's 900 nanometers, it's good, use it. So just off the wall emitters may not work. This is a cheap set of infrared night vision goggles. Bought them for 20 bucks off eBay. It's dirt cheap. It really isn't that big of a deal. You don't have very much as far as field of view, probably about 5 to 10, maybe 15 degrees. It's quite a small 2.5 or 3 inch display in here. It's tiny, but it's good enough to be able to see down to about 1/8 inch or 1/4 inch marks on a ruler, which is useful enough for me in the darkroom. One thing I wanted to mention about this stuff, if you order it from sellers like from India, it seems like it'll be fine if you get it in the box and the original tape's still on it. Even if the box's original tape has been cut open, as long as the original seal that's around this, then you should be all right, because that means that the internal package has probably not been altered. Inside of this is a black bag similar to that of like the black plastic bags you get for like sheet film. It has a bag like this inside of here, so it should keep the film protected from anything as far as lights go. When I received mine, I went into my dark room before I opened it up under subdued light, and I pulled this out. When I did, at the bottom I saw a crack, and I was worried that it had fogged the film completely. No. The internal seal was still there, the external seal was still there, so I used some bookbinding tape, covered it over. It's been fine ever since. Where do you get this? eBay. There are 3 or 4 sellers of it right now in 1, 2, and 4 rolls. One is going for about 150, 160, up to almost 200, and 2 rolls is going for about 250 to 300, and it's like $500 for the 4 roll box. I bought just one because I didn't think I was going to use a lot of it, and I was worried it wasn't going to be in good condition. But so far, I got the older one, which is from 2013. There is a newer one from 2014, or at least that's when they expired, not necessarily when they were manufactured. So, not a bad deal. If all goes according to plan, I should get about 150 rolls of 101 from this, and about 75 rolls of 120 from it. Which is great, because I use a lot of 120 in my panoramic Kodak, as well as my other medium format panoramic cameras. I'm constantly going through black and white, and I'm constantly trying different things. So I'm still learning, and I'm not 100%, expert at this. So anytime that I could save money on film, I'm going to take it. And so far, this has saved me a lot of money. I don't even know what I do as far as getting film for something like this. Ilford canceled my order. They said that the global minimum was not met. Commenter on the previous video told me that the global minimum is 12 rolls at 200 and some odd dollars a piece. I just cannot afford 12 rolls of Ilford FP4. A viewer from the last video sent me a 100-foot roll of FP4 by 10 inch. So something that was for a circuit camera, a number 10 circuit camera. It looks like it might have expired between 2020 and 2022. So still fairly new. I've cut some of it down. I showed it earlier. I'm pretty pleased with it so far. I need to do some more work in the darkroom with it. And then I've never actually shot FP4 before. I used HP5 and Delta 100 and Pan F. Those seem to be the ones I most commonly use from Ilford. So pretty good film. Going to use more of it, especially in this. And possibly old Jasper back there. My Century 8x10. But as far as Agfa goes, I think that's pretty much all the information I have, and I'm rambling at this point. Yeah. If you have any more questions, any comments, any advice you have about this film, if you've used it before, as far as fixing and stops go, I've been using water to stop the development, and then I've been using FT4 for my fixer at a 1+4. So, I just broke the 150 subscriber count. I can't believe we went this far this quickly. I'm very happy. But just a few weeks ago, we were at 7 on the channel, and now we're at 155 as of recording. Y'all are awesome. I'm glad y'all are enjoying my content, and I'm going to try to put more effort in and try to do more videos, especially on this, working on classic panoramic cameras. Fixing them, I don't know if I'm going to do any videos on that. I don't know if that's really good. I want to do a video coming up here shortly on how to make the fans and waterhouse stops for this camera, because a couple of people have asked about it, and it seems like something y'all would watch. So I'm going to go ahead and put some effort in and make that video. But yeah, thank y'all for watching. Bye.